Hi, how y'all doing? It is Friday, February 28th. About 2:35 in the afternoon as of recording this video. Thought I'd put out another video today. As the YouTube algorithm, messes with you if you go like a week without putting out a video. They say you really ought to do like every other day or every couple of days if that's possible. I don't think I have that much to talk about. We won't be here too long if we do. We'll see. I usually record my videos later in the evening on into later at night, but I got my kiddo this weekend, and I usually end up talking about stuff in my videos that he don't need to be here, and the not so great points about my health, financial stuff, nothing he needs to be burdened with. Plus, he was really amped about being on my channel with me. Doing videos with me because over the past couple of years he's gotten really into YouTube and has favorite YouTubers and whatnot. And we did do the one video, a little fix-it video on my truck. Primarily just something for him to do on my channel. And we had a lot of fun with that. YouTube started messing with it right away, though. They immediately shut down the comments after like 4 hours. I guess when they realized that it had a minor in it. And it seemed to be I don't know, harder to find. I have since made that video private. I didn't want to delete it, but I made it private because that's not something I'm going to focus on. I'm kind of trying not to do that again. He keeps asking about it and wanting to do it, and it's very hard for me to tell him no. He's such a good kid. He doesn't give me any trouble. He doesn't, he's just a great kid, and I know how to be strict. I can be strict if I need to. I grew up in not a super strict, but more of a strict household, and my parents likewise, they knew how to be strict when they had to. But I am very much against the idea of telling a kid no, just to tell him no, just to give him the experience of no. We do that to a point, but more constructively, not just, no, we're not doing that, or no, you can't do that, or no, we're not getting that. I like to be constructive. I like to, explain to him why. And I like to give him good answers, why no, why not, why we can't, why we won't. And it's really hard for me to do that, regarding the YouTube channel, because he sees so many kids on YouTube channels. And we've kind of come to a deal where when I am better, I can see, I can drive, I'm stronger, we will start up like a second YouTube channel that's him and me, and we'll take videos, going around to different playgrounds and parks he loves, and showing off St. Augustine and maybe Daytona some. Just fun father-son type videos. And I still don't like the idea of having him on the internet, because of all the internet creepers that are out there. Total psychos that stalk kids online. The internet is the world nowadays, and he is already so ingrained into it. It's like when I was a kid, my parents didn't have a workable home computer with internet access, until like the mid 90s. I was already 12, 13, 14 years old when that came along, and it was a much different place. The internet was a much different animal back then, and it was just, a thing. Now it seems like more and more it's everything, and I don't agree with that. And I don't want him living his life online. There's a great big beautiful world out there that I want him to experience, and I don't want him to not experience the real world in favor of the virtual one. So he still loves YouTube and loves to do these different online interactive games and whatnot, but I try to limit that. I haven't done so as much in the past few months because of the current physical limitations that I have. But before I got sick with the sepsis and ended up losing part of my foot and all that junk, I had a very big emphasis on going outside, playing outside. Let's go somewhere, let's do something. And I'm going to again once I'm better and can drive and all that. And hopefully, keep him enthralled with the real world, and the internet just be a useful tool and a fun distraction, but not the be all end all. Um, you know, I the world is changing, and that's the one constant that's always been is change. Uh, and I'm not, you know, against change. Uh, Change in itself is good. It's healthy. Um, but the changes that take place aren't always good. And, you know, I feel like most of the changes that we're seeing nowadays and have been seeing for a long time now, they've had their merit, but haven't really been good, you know. Um, I look at things the way they are today, and you know, I'm not excited for the way things are today. The more of the modern world that I see and I interact with, the more it makes me, you know, opine for yesteryear, the way the world was when I was a kid. Um, and you know, there's a lot of things that kids nowadays don't get to experience that I did, and you know, generations before me. And it makes me sad, you know, like this online thing. Everything is online, you know, all these games, uh, you know, just e-life regardless. I feel like, you know, kids are getting kind of cheated out of a healthy childhood. Um, and I don't want that for my son, you know. He's my one and only. There never will be any others, which it hurts. You know, I wanted more. I wanted three, uh, two or three. You know, the the wife and I were talking. You know, having kids. Like three was our goal. Uh, at least two, and we were gonna probably stop at three. Um, but I didn't get that. You know, and I due to my health and what the everything the chemotherapy did to me, I won't ever have a chance at having another child. You know, it's part of the reason why I have decided, you know, not to try to date again, because my health is not conducive to it. Um, and you know, I'm over my ex. I'm not over my ex. I'll never be over her. I'm past her, you know. I there's no way we would ever get back together again. She is not the person that I fell in love with all those years ago. She has changed a lot. And to the extent and the extent and the quickness with which she changed, I really think that the person that she is now is the person that she always was. And the girl I fell in love with 14 years ago was always the facade, you know. Was never really there, you know. That's just how I feel about it from personal experience and whatnot. The woman that she is now, I could never, you know, I could never go back to that. I just couldn't love this person the way I used to. I mean, I still love her. I always will. But I could never be comfortable with her the way I once was. And I damn sure could never, ever trust her ever again. And anytime we interact, she always has this attitude like it is of a detriment and disservice to her to have to even speak to me, which also is quite painful. But it also, you know, helps my resolve to stay strong. So we would never be getting back together, and you know, even if we did, there wouldn't be, you know, any more kids. She was having fertility issues when we tried to get pregnant with Joey back in 2016, and after all the chemotherapy I've been through, I don't think I could manage to have another kid. So, you know, my Joey, he's all I got. He's my one shot to do the best I can to be a dad, you know, and that is made more difficult by his mom and the fact that she and I have very different worldviews. We have very different social political views, very different views on what is acceptable environments for children. And so it's like it's a constant battle, you know, and one I have to wage carefully because I can't be seen as being, you know, too antithetical to her, because you know, she would immediately try to start problems. Like, you know, he's 7 years old, and he has always, you know, been very conscious of the divorce. We got divorced. She left when he was 4, right after he turned 4, and the divorce took place, you know, throughout his 4th year. He was always very conscious of the divorce, and he always understood that something was wrong. And you know, we weren't supposed to talk about it to him. I didn't, you know. He would constantly bring it up, and you know, from the beginning, he understood that, you know, whatever was happening, she was the main driver of what was happening because she left. And, even though he was splitting his time with us, it would always be, Daddy, why did Mama leave? Why did Mama leave us? Is Mama ever going to come home? And it was very hard for me because I didn't want the divorce, so it was hard for me to deal with it myself, much less, try to navigate him through it. But I would always, just say, I don't know, sweetheart. I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on. And, change the subject, and that would usually do. The year before we got divorced, it was probably one of the last things we did as a family, because it was always so hard to get out and do something as a family, it seemed. I don't know why. There's always something going on, I guess. We went out here in St. Augustine, went to the Fountain of Youth, and had a good time, and we took a picture, the three of us together. And it was a good picture, happy picture. And my mom took that picture, and she had it screened onto a coffee cup for my ex-wife. I had that picture hanging on the wall too. But after the divorce, I didn't hide all the pictures, but I took some of them down, kind of out of sight, out of mind. And when my wife left, she did not take that coffee cup with her. And I could not bring myself to get rid of it. So I put it in a display case with some other, precious knickknacks. And I remember my son staring at it one day. I didn't even realize he noticed it. And it's in a display case that my best friend made for me. And I actually keep some of my favorite childhood Hot Wheels in it. And I asked him, you want to play with something out of there, pal? And he said no. So I looked back, look at what he's doing, because I thought he was looking at the cars. And I said, well, what's up? And he said, I miss when we were together and we were happy. I miss when we were a family. He's like 5 years old at this point, and I instantly, knew what he was looking at, and, I'm trying not to start crying like a damn fool, and try to steer him away from it, But, he asks those questions now, and I don't give him the particulars, I don't even know all the particulars. Sometimes I don't know why. I do, but then I don't, But, I tell him, Mama and I weren't happy, and we tried to fix it, but it seems like we just couldn't. And, I didn't want us to be apart. I didn't want the divorce to happen, but, your mama did. And it basically comes down to, I wasn't strong enough to do it, but your mama was. And, the divorce was really hard, but it ended up being for the best. And he accepts that. He understands that. But, you know, at the same time, she is angry that I tell him that I am honest with him. And, you know, I told her, I don't believe in lying to the kid. You know, he's old enough to understand now. I don't give him any of the gory details, but, you know, I'm not gonna lie to him. And she thinks I should. She still does. She doesn't, you know, tell him the truth when he asks her these questions, and that's part of the reason why he is getting distant from her. And I worry that their relationship is going to be damaged irrevocably because you know, he loves her, but he knows what she did. And I didn't have to tell it to him, you know. He's known since she did it. So it's hard. But yeah, I do my best to try to be a good dad and, you know, impart my knowledge onto him to, you know, try to prepare him for the world. It's tough sometimes. I'm at the end of my time limit, so I'm going to cut it off here, and I'll talk to y'all probably Monday. Hope you have a good weekend. Bye-bye.